Welcome back, Michael Wickerson at Wickerson Studios, continuing with this data-driven design in Grasshopper. I will be playing in ghPython, the ghPython remote node, but we're going to basically learn Python. We're going to learn it in two environments, one the Grasshopper canvas and one Visual Studio Code. So what I've done here is I've started to build an app that will go alongside and we're into chapter 4 now, so I've got a little bit about comments, a little bit about data types, a little bit about operators and syntax and variables. Then we'll move on to chapter 2 and deal with blocks. That said, I've also got what's happening over here in the Grasshopper window, so you can apply, and I've written the scripts in, and I've given them the same similar names. This one's called data types, but if you scan out, you'll see the script on comments. Of course, comments don't need any input or output, and these are ghPython scripts, and there you can see what's written there is pretty similar to what's in Visual Studio Code, but there are subtle differences as you go, and they'll get more and more complex as we move into ghPython remote and having to download NumPy, Matplot library, scikit-learn, things like this, and pandas. So this one's a nice little example, and actually I'm teaching a young 10 and 12-year-old and hopefully a 5-year-old in time, so they can sit in here, and Max started to play with a little bit of this. I'm pulling this text, and then he makes his own kind of versions and his own kind of games. I think he made a Magic 8-Ball game here, which I showed in Chapter 3. So you can see that he's having fun with if-else statements and making kind of a role-playing game. So I've done that as well. But basically, I'm staying to the text that's coming out of these books. The books are all-in-one Python for Dummies, and going through each section. This one will be the section on working with operators, then working with variables, and then working with syntax. And the scripts are not very important, but there are some subtleties getting in here that you've got to get in here, and you can use the hard-coded version if you wanted, which is similar to the one in the book, and you've got to comment out things that you don't want to run, or you can start to make things parametric, which is the power of Grasshopper, so you can start to input variables in. You just have to make sure that you are setting their type access, which you can leave as single items for the most part to start, and your type hints, you have to set it to what you need. So this one will be set to an integer, this one will be set to a float, and then you want to make sure you have everything typed in, and everything's up and running. So that's it. So that is coming in, and what I've done is I have also in each section highlighted what websites are worth looking at. Obviously, the Pi tutorial, you don't have to go through this book. You can go through any online Pi tutorial, and that would help you do things, I would say, work right from Python's page. And then I have put everything in a data-driven design GitHub page so you can see all of the all-in-one Python scripts here. And then I've got a couple that came out of a machine learning book that were kind of going to the point of where I'd like to take things. And then I have the actual application as I'm updating it. So you could open that and open it in Visual Studio and have the exact same scripts. So I'm really providing everything to you. And then for people that want to support, I've got files as I'll be updating in videos that will go in all these sections. And you can see there's tons of repositories that are on my Patreon site. So a little bit of a plug at the end just to keep me up and running. It's a little bit of coffee money. That's it. I do it just to see if I'm in the right direction. I don't really do it for an income, but it does tell me what people are interested in, where I should be pushing things. So that's enough to start, and